this is two casts in a row. This is the Kings of Rice.
This is Ultima.
This is MGT Cast.
Yeah, buddy.
Thought you were stuck there for a second. I was like, where is he at?
Uh, yeah, I don't.
I was like, he's not introducing himself.
Allow me to reintroduce myself. My name is Hove. Anyway.
Hove. Anyway, Hove.
What are we talking about?
Well, not Hova. So.
Not young Hove.
Nah. So I happen to come across. I mean, this is video game-esque because it's about Elder Scrolls technically. So, um, this also comes from CNET, just in case anyone was curious. Um, so the headline for this one is Elder Scrolls movie could happen, but only if this director made it.
And what director is that?
So Bethesda gets approached all the time to make movies, but has turned down every offer. Here's what could take the change to that. Would Bethesda ever greenlight an Elder Scrolls movie? Marketing executive Pete Hines says in a new interview that Bethesda has no interest in turning its franchise into movies unless Lord of the Rings director Peter Jackson wanted to be involved. Now, how does that sound?
That'll never happen. Peter Jackson is not going to take on a video game movie.
And why do you say
I'm not
that?
trying to be mean. I wish he would, but
what is it beneath him?
I don't think it's actually beneath him, but I think that that's going to be the prevailing like that's the
the stopping point?
no, like that's sort of like the attitude that I think Hollywood would have about it.
Well,
And
but then
him
again, if you
included.
think about it, games to movies don't have a good track record anyway.
Yeah, I mean, and that's one part of it,
Yeah,
and
because
that's
I don't
like
think anyone really wants to be part of a potential flop,
yeah.
technically.
And then just because of the style of not Lord of the Rings, the style of Elder Scrolls, it would undoubtedly be, they try to get it to, they try to measure it up to Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, because the subject matter is similar.
I just, there's no way. Not
But what if he decided to do Fallout?
Peter Jackson doing Fallout.
I mean, granted that Lord of the Rings is different, hella different.
Yeah.
But what if it was not like the
Well,
same subject matter? He
yeah,
would apply his, I guess you could say, genius to Fallout.
yeah. I'd be curious just because he's never directed anything remotely like Fallout, to my knowledge.
So it says Hines told Finder.com.au that Bethesda gets approached all the time with movie offers, but has turned them down over fears that producers might not be able to do the franchise justice. Now we understand that one. Are we gonna let some other person do their interpretation of what Fallout is, or Elder Scrolls, or Dishonored is, or are we gonna hold on to and let developers be the only ones that are able to say this is what Fallout is, or Elder Scrolls, or Wolfenstein, or whatever? So we want our developers to decide what our franchises are about, and not movie directors, producers, or a studio. So he actually goes to basically saying that it's because it's like it seems like all the people in the movie scene want to do is control it, and
Mm-hmm.
thus it loses you know its claim to fame in the video game world. So, I mean, yeah, at least in a way they're trying to keep it away from those trappings. Trying to keep people from making a whole new story that probably wouldn't make sense.
Um. Yeah, he hasn't done anything remotely. He's basically done Lord of the Rings since 2000, since turn of the century. Because before then, he did some stuff, and I only even like recognize one of these movies. But since then, he's done Lord of the Rings, King Kong, The Lovely Bones, which is pretty good. He did the Hobbit movies, and I guess his next movie is The Adventures of Tintin. The Next Adventures of Tintin.
Oh wow, movie about a dog. Um,
So,
so it says, also going to say Bethesda might change its mind if Jackson came knocking, however. I think if Peter Jackson turned up at Bethesda game director Todd Howard's office and said, I want to do Elder Scrolls, well, that would be pretty serious conversation you would have to listen to. But I think Peter is probably pretty busy, so I don't see us anytime soon looking at movies.
yeah, I
That
don't.
said, Hines and Bethesda is well positioned to make a movie, if it ever wants to. Pirates of the Caribbean's producer Jerry Bruckheimer sits on Bethesda's parent company ZeniMax board of directors, as do former MGM CEO Harry Sloan and Hollywood legal expert Ernest Dell. Yeah, also as well as Hollywood legal expert Ernest Dell. Leslie Moons, the CEO of GameSpot's parent company CBS, is also on ZeniMax's board of directors. Wow, there's a lot of big wig people on there. So it's not like we don't know where to go if we want to get a film or a TV show made, Hines said. It's more about, is this something we really want to do? What are we getting out of it? What kind of distraction is this going to create? He also said that he's not sold on the promise that a studio would give Bethesda total control over the direction of potential Fallout or Elder Scrolls movies, which he's right, like in being in fear of, because you know, I don't know anyone. I don't know anyone who's again on the article. I don't know anyone who's actually has total control over the film adaptation of their video game. He said, if you did, why wouldn't you just not make it yourself? Of course, the film studio and the scriptwriter and the game director are going to have a ton of say. They will have their own visions, so we get asked all the time, but we see it as a distraction. We're a video game company. Let's do what we know.
Yeah, I mean, it's without a director that they could trust, like they would have to use so many of their own resources, and Bethesda for the most part seems to only really do like really large games. So like I feel like they don't really have the resources. I mean they do, but they don't, because it's like they make these such grandiose games that they come out every 4 or 5 years.
Yeah.
So
Also, in a previous interview, Hines said an example of video game movie gone wrong would be 2005's Doom, which starred Carl Urban and Dwayne The Rock Johnson. Bethesda had no part in the production of this movie. However, having acquired Doom's developer id Software in 2009.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so for some reason I like that movie. I don't know why. Maybe it's because it's one of those things where it's so bad it's good. At least in my mind. And it says, and also on a side note, video game giant Ubisoft has created its own internal division, Ubisoft Motion Pictures, to handle the production of feature films based on its franchises. Ubisoft works with outside partners. Assassin's Creed is being made by New Regency, but the publisher claims it has creative control. So, would you be interested in an Elder Scrolls movie from Jackson? Let us know in the comments below. You know, let's hope for the sake of Ubisoft's claim of its creative control, because let's just say the trailers are dope.
Yeah.
And, Michael Fassbender is dope in the trailer.
Yeah. It looks promising.
It does. So, would you say, well, granted, what's it called? Now, would you say an Elder Scrolls movie made by the right person would be a step in the right direction?
Yeah,
I mean, that's always the case, but
I mean, Peter Jackson, I'm sure would do well. Um,
this is kind of a hard subject to talk about.
yeah, I'm trying to think who else. Like, I'm trying to think what other directors I try.
Or like Fallout, for example.
Fallout. I mean, yeah, I guess I trust him, but you know, he didn't really. He hasn't really done a movie like that, so part of me is like, I don't know. Um, who directed? Who directed Mad Max?
That's a good question. I have no idea. I still haven't seen that movie, by the way.
That's a dope movie.
Is it? I mean, shit.
Oh,
see how many,
George Miller, written and directed by
see how
George
many
Miller.
fucking awards it won?
Okay, so George Miller did it, and he's the guy who did. George Miller.
Okay, what's so funny about George Miller?
Dude, you gotta. Oh wow, he did the original Mad Max movies.
Oh, did he really?
Yeah, so he did Mad Max, Mad Max 2, Mad Max Beyond the Thunderdome. But listen to this. He also did Babe.
Which was a good. The first movie was actually a really good movie.
Babe, Pig in the City.
Which I guess was a good movie. I don't remember.
He did Happy Feet 1 and 2.
Oh, Lord in heaven. I don't even know if those movies are actually good.
And he did Mad Max Fury Road. He's doing Justice League. Oh, no, he's producing Justice League.
Okay, so basically he's going to have a hand in Justice League.
Yeah, and he is director-producer of the next Mad Max, The Wasteland.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So let's go like this. For me, okay? I know jack shit about the behind the scenes of a movie. I just watch the movies, okay? So
yeah.
I'm not like, so basically if someone goes, "Oh, do you know this person so and so?" I was like, "No." You know? Like for example, let's just use this let's use an example here. So let's go Will Smith as Deadshot, right?
Okay.
So just for some odd reason, I don't know who Will Smith is.
Yeah.
Like it's like this. It's like, oh, Will Smith. I was like, who's Will Smith? You know, the guy who played Deadshot. He was like, oh yeah, okay, like that. I'm that kind of person. But I know all the fucking, all the A celebrities at least, for the most part. So for me, let's ask this question now. I don't know directors. I don't know potential picks for a role in a movie because I don't maybe it's because I don't really care technically. Well, I mean, I guess in the end I have to care because then if the movie sucks, then that sucks. So if you had to pick at least one video game to be made into a movie that you'd want to see made into a movie, what would it be? So just with my pick, I would pick Dead Space. But seeing the trappings of how horror movies have been lately, like, that one seems that one almost begs to be turned into a flop. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I would love to see Dead Space turned into a movie. So at least one.
I feel like Outlast could be a good movie.
Yeah, like almost like found footage, right?
Yeah, and
except let's just say not quite like the Blair Witch Project found footage, where it's like, but like a person who knows how to hold a camera. But then again, I guess if you do found footage, that's kind of like its charm, I guess. But I think that one would probably make a pretty good movie.
Yeah, I don't think.
Because that one can be pretty simple.
I feel like horror games should be able to make the easiest transition.
You know what game I think would make the easiest transition to fucking to a movie is fucking what's it called? Until Dawn.
Yeah,
But then again, that's like choose your own adventure.
basically.
But then again, they
Um,
could just make everyone survive. That's the ideal. Technically, right?
yeah. I think a Mass Effect movie would be cool. Well, I guess I'd want the whole trilogy.
Yeah. So that would be. See, that's
Um,
like this too, because seeing is that like seeing is that we're talking about like a big world. That's almost like this is kind of out of left field, but I'd like for some reason I'd want to see a Borderlands movie, but that would probably never pan out well because of how it works. Because that would just be a bunch of people going around shooting guns. In certain subjects that works, but that's not the easiest thing to pull off well. You know what I mean?
well, I feel like it could in the sense that they would be able to tell the story a lot quicker because they wouldn't have to have
Oh yeah, all the running around.
so much fight, like running around and fighting in a movie. They could just, transition to
But yeah, it's
stuff.
like like you could condense at least 30 hours of gameplay into 2 hours maybe, or maybe spread it across some movies depending on how you did it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Just as long as you don't get M Night Shyamalan to do fucking direct any of this shit. Fucking
M. Night
idiot.
Shyamalan.
Fucking idiot. I swear. Or Michael Bay maybe.
What's another?
He'll just blow everything up. Um,
I think with the right movie, I think Michael Bay could do a decent job.
so
Like
let's
what?
let's let's uh, let's go like this. What about J.J. Abrams? What do you what thing you think he'd be able to do?
I think he could do Mass Effect really well.
Yeah, seeing as how he did a good job on Star Wars,
Yeah,
like
and
I
he
could
did Star Trek.
yeah, and I think he could pull off another really good sci-fi fucking adaptation.
Um, J.J. Abrams could probably also do like Halo. I think.
I think that one would be kind of hard to do though,
I think it'd be hard to do, but I mean,
because you have to be hella true to the story though,
yeah.
because uh Halo's so story driven.
Let's see. J.J. Abrams.
Because how would you split that off though? Because what is like a typical gameplay time for Halo? It's like what, 10 hours
Well, you keep
maybe?
in mind they could sort of cut parts.
Yeah, like the Borderlands one.
Um, and also like sort of, I'm not saying skip whole missions necessarily, but if there is a mission that like only advances the plot a little bit, like maybe they could work around that. And
So it's like cut out all the fucking menial shit.
yeah,
So
like
basically, it's like say if a mission takes you an hour, let's do it in 15 minutes. Is that like what you mean? Or
yeah,
let's
stuff
do it in
like
like 20
that.
minutes.
It's another game J.J. Abrams can do.
Because he's really good at science fiction stuff. So
Yeah, let's look at what J.J. Abrams.
J.J. Abrams.
What has he directed?
You know what I heard? You know what I found out? This is
Hmm.
strange to hear, but there's going to be a live action U.S. live action Sword Art Online.
Huh.
Now I'm like, what? I saw that I think on ANN and I was like, what the? I was like, wait, what? Honestly, dude, like since I started working, dude, I've been so out of touch. Because working nights is fucking ridiculous.
Hmm. J.J. Abrams also did Super 8. So I'm trying to think like what would be what's a game like Super 8?
What's Super 8?
It's the one where there's like an alien hidden away
What
and
would be
like
a
he
good,
escapes.
like maybe an XCOM movie or something.
Yeah, I can see that.
Aliens invade and then, well,
Oh, what about StarCraft?
fuck, dude. Speaking of StarCraft, get on the StarCraft hype right now. I've been waiting for a StarCraft movie for more than 10 years, dog. Where is it?
I
J.J.
know.
Abrams, where you at? Should hit up that dude. Talk to Blizzard. Let them let you make a StarCraft movie under their direction. Or fucking follow the campaign. I don't give two shits. Make a StarCraft movie. I mean, I'm still excited over the Warcraft movie, even though people were like, it's hella mixed.
Yeah, I mean, I think my only complaint was
Oh yeah, because you did see it, huh?
yeah, like I think the only thing I had against it was from what little I knew and have looked into on the lore,
Mhm.
um, and just who like Medivh is. I feel like the Medivh in the movie just didn't have like a presence about him,
Mhm.
and so I don't know. Like, I don't know.
I'm sure for all the lore Nazis out there, that probably made them very disappointed.
Yeah.
But because he's like the powerful one. Okay. So, you know what? We're at 22 minutes right now. Let's just call it here because we're kind of just rambling forth. Although that's not a bad thing, seeing as that we haven't done one in a long time, much less post anything.
Mm-hmm.
Let's just end it right here. So basically, for those who watch the video or watch or listen to it, technically it's a listen. Um, comment. I actually want to see some comments on like what game do you think should make what well I mean we did a video game movie episode, like the old, like the retro games,
Yeah.
like Missile Command, you know
Oh, that's right.
Dwayne the Rock Johnson, bro, see me. um Freaking Hulk Hogan, no, I'm just joking. um
Damn.
you imagine Hulk Hogan being on Missile Command? We gotta save America, brother. anyway
We gotta save America, dude.
anyway So, tell us what you think would make a really good video game movie, under what direction, basically.
Yeah.
So, this is the Kings of Rice. That's Ultima.
That is Ultima.
Like, comment,
Oh.
subscribe, and peace out.